Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Football Stooges. I am your host, as always, Obsidian. Welcome to the stupidest way to cover football weekly on a YouTube show. Very stupid this week. Very stupid. We have the draft to break down. All 7 rounds of the draft are over. Shador has been picked finally. So that happened. We have to all that break down, look at what every team has gotten, kind of some cool picks, some interesting picks, some guys that slid really far, some guys that are picked really high. So we'll take a look at that. And then also the UFL, it is in their halfway point, so we'll take a look at that. Also maybe even the playoff standings if that's shaping up well. And then, as always, we will have Masson do his favorite part of the show, which is a tier list about things he never has ever experienced.
Damn it.
And speaking of the devil, there he is, and he ain't painting. I think he's assembling.
I'm assembling. It's Dark Oath Riders from Age of Sigmar, but I'm gonna make them Chaos Marauder Horsemen or Old World.
For a second, it looked like you were painting your nails.
So I'm gonna get something for like movement trays that has, so instead of like square bases, it's these oval, and then I put them in the movement trays.
For my worst.
I gotta get it from Mini War Gaming because they have like special trays for that.
Nice. Next up, back again at Casa de la Mamba is Mamba.
Casa de la Mamba, sick. It
Casa
was more
de
like
la-
Casa de la Houston, Texas.
Are you in Houston now? Oh, that's where you were. Oh. Like, did you move to
That's where I
Houston?
was, bro. No, I didn't.
Like, holy moly. Cross country? Man. And last but certainly not least, someone who will never live in Houston because he is far too white for that, it is KDF.
You mean never live in Houston?
You will burn the second.
will
Pale, no pale. You will burn. You, Massey, you will burn when we look in the sun.
You're not wrong about sunburn. I constantly go down to like Texas during the summer times though. Like it's
Imagine needing sunscreen.
Yeah.
You still use sunscreen if you go to the beach. Don't cap. Don't cap.
technically more Middle Eastern than I am Irish, so I can kind of take it.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start with the crossover grid, go to KDF News, break down the UFL, and then we'll take a look at the draft. So without further ado, here is the crossover grid.
The Bills and Patriots. Hold on. There's someone.
Damian Harris.
Mamba's thinking. Let's let Mamba think for a second. I'm going to go Julian Edelman here. He has a kick returner, punt return TD.
I can't think of it. Never mind. Go with what KDF said.
Very AFC East.
So who'd you say for this one?
Drew Bledsoe, or you could do Damian Harris.
I forgot Bledsoe was on the Bills one time.
For Dolphins and Jets, do Mike White.
Oh yeah,
the magic Mike White, baby.
Shout out Mike White getting sawn in half by Matt Milano. I always remember that.
Mike motherfucking White.
Mike motherfucking White.
If we're gonna do Dolphins Patriots,
Wes Welker is one.
Wes Welker.
Hunter Henry is another.
Henry has never been a Dolphin.
Oh no, who was the other? Who was the other?
Gesicki? Was it Gesicki?
Mike Gesicki, yes.
There was also there was one more. There was one more tight end. They had Gesicki and they had somebody else. Was it who was? It wasn't Hunter Henry. It was Hunter Henry's other tight end that was with. Who was it?
Pharaoh Brown. I don't know if he was.
Jonnu Smith?
No, he is. Jonnu Smith.
No, Jonnu Smith was not. Wait, was he on Patriots? I thought he was only on Falcons and Dolphins.
Jonnu Smith.
Man, we just listed like 4. There we go, Jonnu Smith.
We try this. Dolphins, 1,000+ yards. Do Brandon Marshall.
That definitely should work. Brandon Marshall. Yep.
Yeah.
Bills. T.O. baby.
I forgot he was a Bill. Yeah.
Champion Bengal Terrell Owens. And then the Jets and Bills. 2 old franchises, so there should be a lot of crossover here. Frank Gore?
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Gore will work, yeah.
Shout out to the Ish Smith of football, Frank Gore. All right, so now
punt TD.
So a kick return.
The same game that Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Whoa, they ended up fucking winning.
Fuck.
Yeah, they did win.
Oh shit! I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy.
That game was insane.
1,000-yard receiving season and a kick return or punt return for a touchdown. Ooh, so a wide receiver. So Golden Tate maybe here?
Oh, that's a good question.
No, darn, that's our first wrong one.
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester ever had 1,000 receiving yards?
Maybe.
There's no way. No, there's no.
Okay.
No. Absolutely fucking not. Maybe Wes Welker.
Well,
Yep.
I got the September 11th, 2023.
You're pulling up the ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the name.
Xavier Gipson. Gipson. Yep.
What?
Shout out crossover grid.
It was a punt return.
Yeah,
it was a punt return. What the
fuck? What do you want me to do here? Can't bibbity bobbity fucking boo this shit. Did I spell it like?
Oh, you spelled it right.
Xavier Gipson. Yeah. Yeah. No. So different jet. Darrell Rivas. No. Jets.
They're punt returners. I think like other like receivers they had that probably could have.
Shout out Josh Cribbs. Oh, so yeah, this was a Ryan.
Cribbs.
Wait, could all of these have been Ryan Fitzpatrick? No, he wasn't a Patriot. I don't think he was a Patriot.
Yeah, he was not a Patriot.
Okay, I'm about to say this was going to be like a Ryan Fitzpatrick quad.
Yeah.
Leon Washington was the big for the Jets punt return and kick return. There's probably going to be a lot of these, but some of them.
Bro, I feel like a lot of the crossover grids you could do.
What?
You could what's the quarterback? You just said it.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick. For a lot of the crossover grids, you could do Fitzpatrick.
Okay, so these are all Jets that have a punt or kick return. So Khalif Raymond, Braxton Berrios, Randall Cobb. Yeah, Jamison Crowder, McCole Hardman. C.J. Spiller. I really miss... Oh, who was the guy... Yeah, who was the old guy? He was a Jet for a while, yeah. Who was the old... the guy that... Oh, there was a guy for Sunday Night Football that was in the studio that would always break down games after they had finished. I don't think it was... No, actually, it might have been on Monday, but it might have been Chris Berman. But I don't know why. Whenever CJ Spiller had a run with the Bills one year, when I was watching Monday Night Countdown a lot, and I always remember that Chris Berman would just, whenever CJ Spiller would start running, he would just be like, CJ Spiller. For no reason. Ed Reed. Shout out.
Go. Oh. Santonio Holmes in there, Percy Harvin, Aaron Glenn.
Yeah. Dwight Stone, Jeff Graham, Art Powell. What about a good old Lou
Bob
Piccone? Piccione?
Burgess Owens?
Yeah.
I've heard that name before, but sounds like...
Alrighty. There we go. We're done with that, and we will go ahead and move on to KDuff News.
Bright like a bulb.
All right. Let's see. Starting out with injury news, we finally found some for UFL stuff. Short to long-term stuff. Renegade center Jake Joe Hanning is most likely out this week with a head injury. Battlehawks defensive end Austin Faulinu is out with a knee injury. Defenders wide receiver Cornell Powell with a hamstring, and safety Sam Kay with foot injuries. Michigan Panthers punter Seth Vernon most likely not playing with a knee injury. And Brahmas are going to be missing at least both wide receivers Greg Ward Jr. with a calf strain and wide receiver Jonathan Kirkland with an ankle injury. As for questionables, Roughnecks cornerback Damon Arnett, yes, that Damon Arnett, is most going to be questionable with an abdominal injury. Showboats wide receivers Isaiah Washington with an elbow and wide receiver Kai Loxley with a hamstring injury. Panthers wide receiver Devin Ross with a hamstring injury, and Brahmas tight end Elise Mack with a hamstring injury. Other than that, got Stallions quarterback Matt Corral. Apparently, the hip injury he suffered in Week 4 is going to keep him out longer than expected, which will most likely mean Case Cookus is going to be starting for them for the foreseeable future.
Uh-oh.
And he ate cooking.
And then, yeah, and some as we go into like trades, leases, signings, and other stuff, I kind of loop this in with the injuries because it involves medical retirements for two players that were both drafted in last year's draft. First up is Steelers cornerback Ryan Watts. He's going to be released and medically retire after team doctors confirmed a neck injury he suffered in preseason game last year is unfortunately career ending. As it doesn't get much better for Jets quarterback Jordan Travis, their 5th-round pick last year. He did not play at all because of the really nasty leg injury he suffered in 2023 when he was still a Seminole at Florida State. And according to team doctors, it is not healed as they would have liked it to do. So he is also unfortunately medically retiring. So very, very bad luck for those two young guys.
With Jordan Travis, is that like never play football again, or just from the NFL? He's medically retiring
from the NFL, probably. It's from sounds of it, it was like a really nasty, like almost Alex Smith level of injury. I don't remember exactly what his injury was because it's 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, that sucks because he was the Heisman winner that year. If he didn't get hurt, he was the reason Florida State was going to be in the 14 playoff.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, it's very which that's just rough. On to other news as we go into, because even after the draft, there's still been some free agency moves, mostly exercising 5th-year options, such as this first one here. The Falcons have exercised a 5th-year option for Drake London. That's worth $16.8 million for that wide receiver. The Ravens are also doing the same for safety Kyle Hamilton, but are not doing it for center Tyler Lindenbaum, but they plan to negotiate a new deal because he's been a rock on that O-line for them.
You better get him a new deal. If not, then Bengals just like take out a loan, please.
They're already negotiating something, so that sounds optimistic for them. The Bills are signing former Browns wide receiver Elijah Moore on a 1-year deal. Panthers are signing former Raiders wide receiver Hunter Renfrow on a 1-year deal. The Browns have signed.
Are they gonna the Panthers? Are they just gonna collect like old white receivers, like Thanos with Infinity Stones? They have.
What? Who knows how much Adam Thielen has left in the tank? So
Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfrow, call Cole Beasley, call Wes Welker, call Julian Edelman.
Yeah, actually, Edelman's now I think an offensive assistant with the Patriots again. So I think he's not going to be going back to that side of the gridiron anytime soon. Speaking of wide receivers, though, continuing on, the Browns are signing a guy who's been passed around a lot, former Ravens wide receiver Deontay Johnson on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Packers made a few moves. They have exercised the 5th-year option for defensive tackle Devontae Wyatt, declined their one for linebacker Quay Walker, and it sounds like they've already picked up his replacement in signing former Giants linebacker Isaiah Simmons. So we'll see how that works out for them. The Jaguars also doing some stuff. Declined linebacker Devin Lloyd's 5th-year option and are signing former Dolphins defensive end Emmanuel Ogbah on a 1-year, $5 million deal. The Chiefs are exercising 5th-year options for both their Greek freak defensive end George Karlaftis and cornerback Trent McDuffie. The Vikings are extending linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel on a 1-year, $23 million deal, which is pretty crazy for the couple years he's been having in the league so far. And they did a draft night trade day 2 with the Vikings to acquire former Seahawks quarterback Sam Howell. The Seahawks will then use the pick that they received in the trade to choose Notre Dame defensive tackle Riley Mills. The Patriots, we've mostly just been in the news for releases, including guard Jake Andrews, wide receiver Jaquay Jackson, and this one, not a very big piece from the outside thing, but he was a longtime special teams player, former Navy veteran long snapper Joe Cardona. So sad to see him go. The Saints have released quarterback Ben DiNucci to probably make some room for a certain quarterback they drafted. Alert! It's not Shedeur Sanders. But they did not pick up offensive tackle Trevor Penning's 5th-year option, which, unless that's your Ryan Ramczyk replacement, makes sense why they drafted Kellen Banks Jr. The Eagles, actually, I take it back. The Steelers, have signed former Texans wide receiver Robert Woods on a 1-year deal. The 49ers made a move that I feel like a lot of Niners fans were waiting for. They've re-signed tight end George Kittle on a 4-year, $76.4 million deal with $40 million guaranteed. So they essentially want him to retire with the red and gold. Seahawks not only got rid of Sam Howell, but they are releasing quarterback Jaron Hall. And the Commanders, even after they just re-signed kicker Zane Gonzalez earlier this offseason, they've now released him in favor of signing former Colts kicker Matt Gay, which is a little interesting. Anyway, other news around the leagues for UFL. Panthers safety Samson Nakua has been suspended 1 game for an altercation caught on camera of him slapping a Battlehawks fan in their game in St. Louis last week. I guess one was just like jawing at him. Nakua was not having, and it's just a very obvious like bitch slap from like the closest one. Spoiler alert, as we get into the UFL stuff, the Defenders came back in their game against the Renegades. It's the 37-33. It is the largest comeback deficit in UFL history. Onto NFL stuff. There's a bit of news that I actually don't have written down, but I was just watching a video about it earlier because I hadn't heard anything about it until like right before our call started. Bill Belichick's been in the news recently over his current girlfriend, who, when he was 49 years old, in his first year as the Patriots head coach, she was still in diapers. That's how far their age difference is. But the long story short is that his girlfriend Jordan, she's like apparently a former UNC cheerleader that's now girlfriend to Belichick, probably who was pegging him in that door cam video from last year. So there was a interview that he had on NBC News about his new book, and there's a lot of concern for him considering that, according to NBC, she was just like interrupting the interview constantly to the point, and as much as they edited out they still had to include one more to just showcase how they could not let it slide. Like, I think it was like a question like, how did they two meet? You just hear her speak up like, we're not answering that. Which makes the people question, like, is she taking advantage of like Belichick's like fame and money? Because hitherto meeting him was a hairdresser that did not have a $9 million real estate portfolio that came out of nowhere after she started dating him, which seems a little sketch. It's almost like the lawyers that were just puppeteering Stan Lee to do whatever they wanted for marketing purposes towards the end of his life. So hopefully that something comes to light there, or it's like one of those like fling things where it just breaks up as soon as he actually gets down to business with UNC. Other than that, a little darker news. Hall of Fame Broncos quarterback and former general manager John Elway was involved in a incident over the last week where he was driving a golf cart with his longtime business partner Jeff Sperbeck, and Sperbeck fell out, suffered a severe head injury, and unfortunately passed away from his wounds. Elway was cleared of any wrongdoing. According to the report, he was like completely fine behind the wheel. That was just a freak accident that happened out of nowhere. So thoughts are with him, I guess. The Eagles had their White House visit with President Donald Trump this week, where they met and he fully endorsed the tush push. So I wouldn't be surprised in the near future there's an executive order banning the NFL from banning it. The Commanders, probably big news this week. They are finally returning to DC, and it has been confirmed that they will be moving out of Landover, Maryland, back to DC for a deal worth $4 billion to build a new stadium on the site of their old home, RFK. Approval for land transfer was poorly granted in the final days of the Biden administration, and team owner Josh Harris has pledged the team will cover 50% of the construction costs, and it will attempt to put a roof on it to try and get a Super Bowl bid, and if plan goes smoothly, they could be back in the DC metro area proper by 2030. But I've got a little bit more news, but we can kind of cover it as we get into the draft. But before we do, I've put something in chat lob. I want us to blind react to this if nobody's seen it yet. You can
React to.
I'll
I'll have to react to it. I can react to it on my phone.
Yeah.
What the
So it's
fuck is
The
that?
Yeah, we've
fuck?
had-
Who designed
Yeah, we-
these?
if you could pull me out, please, so you could just like react to these real quick. So the UFL has revealed at least 6 of the new mascots for teams. I'm just gonna get fucked up a little bit as we go to Reddit here. So
Why
first
look
up, we
so
have.
fucked up, Lob? What is going on?
I don't know what happened here.
Yeah.
Here we go. So we got the Brahmas one there, which is just a bull. Kind of expected that.
Not bad. It's okay.
Not the worst.
It might get worse though.
Oh, yeah. On to next, we have the Battlehawks.
My Battlecocks, baby. Let's go.
Neither of them
They
look
don't
that
even
bad
look
so
pretty
far.
That's so.
Oh,
Look at the teeth.
So far.
The teeth are a little
The
weird.
teeth
They're
is
just a little weird.
bad.
Look at
Weird
the.
It should just be closed, I think.
Yeah. Then we got the Renegades. That's what just makes
That
me
is
laugh.
cool. That is
That's
cool.
what
That's
makes me laugh
funny as
because
fuck.
he looks like he's doing the omae shindori pose.
Yeah.
It looks like he's about to rob a bank.
Then it gets a little weird because that's just Miles from the Broncos. That's the
Yeah,
Stallions
it's.
mascot
I
there.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is Miles with a new haircut. And then we go to the.
That's
Panther.
Smile.
Yeah.
Why did they
That's-
give it anime eyes? Why did they? Like, what
They
the
I
had-
did not notice that before.
Yeah,
you
the
said it.
anime eyes are a little weird. Also, the size of the mouth is just absolutely massive. It's
Yeah.
really smiling. This one is interesting.
It's the Showboats mascot, and
Yeah.
it's just a dog. Which it's I don't get why is it just a dog, but I guess what are you supposed to do? Just a guy with a giant steamboat for a head? I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, they could have probably done a massive steamboat plushie thing.
Maybe.
But again, everything about this team sucks. Yeah.
Very true. Anyway, on
Okay.
to
Funny as
some
fuck.
minor
No.
draft stuff. Before we kick into it, obviously we need to discuss a little something that the Browns, or notably the son of Jeff Ulbrich, kind of got caught doing. So there's a little bit of news that Shedeur Sanders actually did get a phone call night one. It was a guy
Yeah.
claiming to be. It was a guy claiming to be Mickey Loomis from the Seahawks, who said they were going to pick him, but he would have to wait a little longer. Then immediately hung up. So it was confirmed because someone completely leaked.
I'm sorry. That's actually.
Oh, you
funny.
something tells me Maston hadn't heard it.
You've
Yeah,
never
no,
heard
no,
of this
Yeah,
Macedon, bro?
No. I've heard the prank call, but I did not hear that quote. I did
Yeah,
not hear
well,
that
there was-
quote though.
Well, that's because there was video leaked of it. Because that video is of Jax Ulbrich, the son of Falcons coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, who reportedly saw the phone numbers of multiple draftees on his dad's iPad, and just decided, I'm just gonna start prank calling people. Now it said multiple people got phone calls. It's unconfirmed if Jax was behind the ones, but included in that were for sent calls received by Colts tight end Tyler Warren, Bills guard Chase Luntz, and Giants defensive end Abdul Carter. So the Falcons and Ulbrich both got fined a combined $350,000 for it, and have issued an apology to the now Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders. And yeah, so it's just a very dumb thing. Other than that, last bits of
Fucking
K-Dub
quote,
news.
though.
Titans Hall of Fame quarterback Warren Moon is allowed the team to unretire the number 1 jersey so that their newly drafted quarterback Cam Ward can wear it. However, Lawrence Taylor has said no to Abdul Carter for choosing number 56, which, and honestly, you might want to keep number 11. Apparently, that number is really big at Penn State. A lot of legends like LeVar Arrington, Navarro Bowman, Micah Parsons have worn it, so that makes sense to them. And yeah, that's all I got for that.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll quickly look over the draft and some of the other picks that we've seen. We did cover the night of round 1 last week, so we covered all of round 1. So that's already been done. So we'll go ahead and move into round 2.
Might want to just ask real quick, Mamba, what was your reaction to the Colston Loveland pick, by the way? Because you got a tight end now.
I mean, are we doing a 2 tight end system? We have Cole Kmet. We went for a tight end.
That's actually
That's
one
what
thing I wonder.
everybody's
Is,
asking.
I mean, Komet is a
Fine.
much. I mean, now here's what I'm going to say. Colson Loveland's not an incredible blocking tight end. However, he is going to have an advantage because he did go to Michigan in that system where it was run the fucking rock constantly.
Yeah.
So he's going to be decent at it, but Cole Kmet's still going to be your option when you want him to block. But also, Colson Loveland already, I feel like, is one of the better receiving tight ends, like, in this draft.
Oh, yeah, no,
and
he's
could be
he's
one of the
a
better
very
receiving
good
tight ends in the league.
Like, I am excited for him, but I'm also thinking, like, didn't we have, like, other areas that we need to, like, get
Maybe
better at?
you
Like,
shored up your O-line with Joe Tooney and a couple other free agent signings. You did draft some others going further back, but at the same time,
I would
like,
honestly
he
think
was
we could go,
available.
like D-line or edge rush or something like that. To be honest, when we were going into it,
It's also
yeah,
something
it's-
about taking just like a position you kind of need, but also just a really good player. Because if you're looking at other stuff here that was gone, like the best offensive lineman, Will Campbell, was gone. You also had Ahmad Membu, who was also gone, and Kelvin Banks also gone. As far as edge, Abdul Carter was the only one off the board. Maybe nothing else jumped
Mason
out.
Graham was the best. You probably could have
Also,
taken
okay, so
Mason
this is for
Grant.
draft day. This is draft day 1, but there was remember when the Chargers took so long? They were almost last second getting their pick in.
Yeah.
to get Amari and Hampton. Yeah, that was
There was a reason why they took so long. The Eagles were actually calling up to switch spots.
which
Eagles
didn't
was
end
trying
up
to trade up.
Ooh,
So
who
they
are they
get
trying to get
choose-
here?
honestly the guy they wanted to
Jahad
grab.
Campbell. Yeah,
Yeah, they were-
because the Eagles thought that someone else was going to try to grab him early.
Yeah, there was video like of the call Campbell got like where like Harry were like, we tried to trade up, get you. We are so happy you fell to us. So they were apparently targeting him the whole time.
Okay.
yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was just something.
But Campbell still fell to him. Round 2. Take a look at any of these kind of jump off the page. Quinshon Judkins as well.
Judkins and Trevain Henderson, both running backs, both went with, like within 3 picks of each other from Ohio State. I personally like the Trevain Henderson pick because like it's definitely looks like we might be moving on from Stevenson soon.
And Travion Henderson is an athlete. This guy's quick.
Yes, he is. He is.
Or no, he was the stronger. No, he was the stronger running back. In fact, Judkins was the faster running back.
Judkins was faster, but Henderson had the power. The one above that though, Nick Monwari, like I've said before, like Hairston from the guy who went to Buffalo was like what the top like DB in the class. That's like pure DB, not counting Travis Hunter. Amon Warrior was a close second, so I feel like that's a good pick for the Seahawks, who have been like slowly rebuilding their secondary over the past like year or so.
Absolutely, yeah.
Go down low bit. See.
Here we go. The Tyler Shuck pick.
I don't even know how I pronounce his last name. Show?
Yeah,
Shuck.
It's Shuck.
What the Shuck?
Shuck. I don't know.
Okay.
Chuck.
Tyler Shuck, the Chucker, got picked up at the second round, and this was the second quarterback draft? Second quarterback draft. Cam Ward and Jackson Dart were first, second round, third one. So Tyler Shuck here. This was over any other quarterback in the draft besides Dart and Ward. So
yeah, out of like 6th round graded talent when we were doing a mock draft. Still,
apparently, Saints like him, I guess.
Well, we'll get to it when we get to the Shadur pick. We'll explain why that something might have had a reason for the fall.
A big slide for Will Johnson because of the injury that he had during his senior season that forced him to miss. Well, he didn't have to miss a lot of games. He just chose to miss a lot of games because he wasn't fully healthy and he didn't want to push it when Michigan wasn't making a championship push and he was going to get drafted. I like the
fell too. I felt like that guy was gonna.
Nick Scorton. Yeah, probably should be a little higher as well. But the Panthers did get some good edge rushing, which is nice. The Bengals picking up a linebacker. I do like Demetrius Knight Jr. He's probably going to immediately have to play alongside Logan Wilson because rumor is that Jermaine Pratt is refusing to play for the Bengals because he was very, very close with Lou Anarumo. So there's that.
Patriots were like actually I think targeting Trey Harris on a few draft boards, and he ended up going to the Chargers.
Another offensive tackle, Mamba, Ozzy,
yeah.
Tarpilio out of Boston College. solid pick there. More depth at the O line, which is going to be great.
He was good at BC too. You like him.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jack Beck. Jack Beck went to the
Who's
Raiders.
I
That's
can't
the,
see who's the other picks.
Beck's
Yep.
the wide receiver.
Your head's blocking the way.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe if I zoom in.
His brother was killed in the
Yeah, that actually helps.
in the New Orleans terror attack on New Year's. So
Yeah.
little thing for him, I guess.
Washington with Trey Amos getting cornerback. I guess they're trying to get their secondary a little better.
Yeah, Bears had a lot of picks. You had the 62nd pick, the 56th pick, and then up here, the 39th pick. Not as much as the first round. A lot of picks. But a lot of those were from, I think this was from, was it from Carolina? No, that's from Buffalo.
Maybe. Oh, that's from Buffalo.
That one's from Houston and Buffalo.
Oh.
That's from Carolina. So yeah, shout out. If these players turn out well, you better be thanking Carolina. All right. Yep. Moving on. Let's take a look at some of these other key picks. Darian Porter, I liked that pick from Iowa State going to the Raiders. Very, very tall, slightly raw, but very good DB that could work great for the Raiders.
Yep. Kyle Williams from Washington State to the Patriots. I mean, we did kind of need another wide receiver, so
yeah,
I think we could make into an actual weapon.
Oh, there's one thing I need to say when we go back to the first round. That's something I forgot to mention. So, a lot of people are calling Tyler Booker, the offensive guard that was drafted from the University of Alabama to the Cowboys, as the Jalen Carter stopper, because he's a big offensive guard. He's going to be blocking inside against Smith tackles, and he also was in the SEC against Jalen Carter. People bring up that he didn't allow any sacks in the last 2 years of his 3-year college career. His first year, he only allowed 3 sacks. They were all in one game. That one game was Georgia. Guess who was on that Georgia team?
Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis?
Jalen Carter. And guess who beat him all 3 times on those pass rushes?
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter.
There's also something that came up about Tyler Booker that I found out. So he was at IMG Academy. Do you want to know why I found that out? Found out is because an old video kind of showed back up my recommend. It showed Tyler Booker as an IMG Academy thing. Yes, it was. It was the video about the infamous Bishop Sycamore game where they were exposed on national TV for being a fraud school. Yeah, so he was part of that. So he was in one of the games that they stopped there, which also none of his fault. He's not the one making the schedule for these games, these schools, and this fraud school to play. So, but that was just an interesting tidbit.
Key and Peele name here, Princely Umanmielen.
Princely Umanmielen.
Umanmielen.
Played alongside Fish Channel on Moby Dick.
I was interested in the Bengals here, a guard from Georgia.
You needed something.
Well, yeah, we got rid of Alex Kappa, so it looks like our offensive line is going to be Orlando Brown Jr., then Cordero Volson or Cody Ford, then probably Cody Ford because Volson looked horrible, and then Ted Karras. The right guard spot's open, and then we have Amarius Mims. So it's like we needed a guard, and I guess this guy from Georgia stood out. So hopefully he's turned out a lot better than a lot of the past Bengal picks. Jacob Parrish, cornerback from Kansas State. Love that pick. He was a good disruptor for them, the Wildcats. So he could fit in very well.
He also took Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, another decent running back.
Mm-hmm. Josiah Stewart, a very, very talented edge rusher, very quick, powerful edge rusher, could do wonders for the Rams.
Him and Jared Verse together.
Him and Jared Verse, and not to mention, I always forget the dude's name, but the defensive tackle. You forget the Rams also had a defensive tackle, a white dude that almost won Defensive Rookie of the Year if he wasn't on the same team as Jared Verse.
Yeah. He was on what's his name? Fisk, I think. Yeah, because he was another.
Talking about Kingpin. Walton Fisk, Kingpin from the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man.
But I think it's Fisk.
Hold on, I'm looking up.
Yeah.
Tyler Davis?
No.
Jack Heflin, Bell Norton. This is 2024 roster. That's the nose tackles. Ty Hamilton, Kobe Turner is edge.
Braden Fisk.
Oh, Braden. Okay,
Braden?
I see. That's a
Yeah.
left defensive end.
Yep.
Okay.
They sometimes slot him inside or on a 3-tech. So, but yeah, those three. Also, they might move Josiah Stewart into a weird 3-4 outside linebacker, Clay Matthews kind of blitz every time, and then all of a sudden flash out into a flat zone.
And as we go a little further down thing, 2 more quarterbacks go. First, the Seahawks take Jalen Milroe out of Alabama. I feel like that's in future your Geno Smith replacement.
Him over Dylan Gabriel is wild, but okay.
Apparently, there was a lot said for interviews and other stuff when they doing questions during interviews. He was able to answer a lot of questions. I don't know if to say truthfully, but he was able to answer questions and try to learn.
Well, I mean, he still is from the Saban era, even though his last season was with DeBoer. Saban gets guys ready for the NFL. Saban coached the NFL. Saban knows what the NFL wants from guys, and he also expects professionalism from his players. So anyone coming out of Alabama is going to be very well suited to be able to tell GMs what they need to do, and also they're just going to be good players generally from Saban's pedigree. I mean, how many guys had Saban produced that were drafted in the first round alone? How many of which became Super Bowl or Pro Bowl players? But at the same time, Jalen Milroe in college, very strong arm. I mean, very Anthony Richardson. Very strong arm, but not very accurate. Decision making was rough. Great scrambler. The NFL is really difficult when you want to do that because guys are a lot quicker in the NFL than they are in the NCAA. So he again, make me eat my words, Jalen Milroe. But at the same time, I would have taken Gabriel over. I feel like Gabriel is a much more well-founded quarterback that it's going to be much more adjusted to the NFL game.
I mean, maybe we'll have to. I mean,
again, this is all conjuncture.
And also they don't have to start him right away. They have Geno Smith. He can
100%,
that Geno Smith can mentor.
Nope, they don't have Geno Smith. They have Sam Darnold.
That's right, Sam Darnold. Sorry.
Sam Darnold now. That's good. It's good.
I keep on forgetting, but still, Sam Darnold can mentor. And
yep.
Apparently, the Upton Stout pick for the Niners is also a pretty good one. I know next to nothing about the kid other than he's from Western Kentucky.
Uptown Stout. Also, shout out William and Mary, offensive tackle Charles Grant. Shout out William and Mary.
No idea where that college is.
It sounds like a New England college.
No, it's in Virginia. It's on the near Newport News, Williamsburg. It's one of the oldest colleges.
Start with a name that sounds like you're beckoning a lesbian closer.
Huh? Huh?
That's a very unfortunate name.
Oh.
Can you say that one more time?
We're gonna have to.
Sorry, my audio cut out. Can you say that again?
No, Mamba, you know what to do with this name. Don't say it, but you know what's happening. What does that look like? That top one?
I don't want to say it.
Exactly.
There's some things in life I'll say, but that one ain't it.
That's
God damn it. God damn it, Kyle.
Perfect.
God damn it.
Yeah,
fucking Kyle.
So something I heard, watched a video, kind of said something about for Bashal Tun is that if he's able to not fumble, he could be really good. That was actually his only problem when he played at Tech was at times he kind of had some weird fumbles.
That and having a shit last name, Tootin.
Tootin.
Get
poop.
Who the hell named the kid Scatabo?
Yeah. These three last names of these first 3 picks in the 4th round. Holy crap!
Also, I think Tune can be on the special teams at first because he was a kick returner for Tech.
Cam Scatabo, who I think his draft stock after that game against Texas probably rose 4 rounds. Got drafted by the Giants. That's going to be interesting. They got some really big names. Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart, Cam Scatabo. They're going to have some big names coming in.
Which is weird that they picked up Kevin Thibodeau's 5th-year option.
Well, I mean, why not have 2 good edge rushers? You can only double team 1 guy in the O-line if they rush 4.
Sexy Dexy's there. And
True.
Kevin Thibodeau
You're just like, what am I gonna do if I have like 3 really nice I get it.
Thibodeau kind of been going downhill.
He had a bit of a sophomore slump. I get it. I get that. He can also hopefully turn it back up. And also, again, if you have more guys on a defensive line that are able to really require more attention, that one guy can't get locked down. I'm telling you, as good as Trey Hendrickson was this year, that's the scary thing about the Bengals D-line, right? Who else was on that D-line that's an elite pass rusher? Who else on that D-line requires 2 blockers?
I mean, Brian Burns did when he was a Panther, not so much this past year, though.
So, on the Bengals O-line, like BJ Hill or Sam Hubbard's final year, they were not guys that required 2 blockers. Trey Henderson was getting double teamed and still getting those numbers and nearly leading the league in sacks. Now, if you add a really good rookie on the side of him, and if that rookie does well and actually plays Zach Taylor, then there could be Trey Henderson could absolutely just soar through the roof. Deontay Thornton Jr., talented wide receiver from Tennessee. I watched him a bit at Tennessee when I was watching football. Liked a lot of his play. Good pick there, I think, by the Raiders.
I've been hearing a sleeper pick when the Ty Robinson to the Eagles, the defensive tackle. And yes, Trevor Etienne is the brother of
Travis Etienne. Very fast. Very fast.
Danny Stutzman, the Oklahoma linebacker to the Saints, has also could be a pretty good pickup by them as well.
Yep.
Pretty starter.
Solid for them. Let's see here. Jack Sawyer. The guy was really
big Ohio State man.
Yeah. This is now public enemy number 1 for me. Not only did he go to Ohio State, now he's a Steeler. Like some of the in my parents' household, some of the best guys in the world were guys like Devin, or not Devin Funches, but like Leon Hall, Michigan players that became Bengals, right? Some of the hated players in the world were guys like Jack Sawyer, guys that went to Ohio State and then became Steelers.
Surprisingly, by the Browns would choose another running back when just did 2 rounds ago. But Dylan Sampson is a very good back out of Tennessee as well.
Mm-hmm. Another Key and Peele name, Tonka Hemingway.
Yeah, I've heard recently. Alec Iamanor, that's the guy who had like the 3 touchdown game and when the Cardinal beat the Buffaloes about a year or 2 ago. Like, they came back and like completely exposed Deion Sanders' coaching scheme.
Okay, round number 5. Shedeur Sanders finally gets picked up at pick number 6 here.
So, do we discuss what exactly went into his fall here that I feel like did not get talked about until after the fall happened?
So, again, for the people that are saying that it is something about his mentality about being too flashy and too arrogant, could definitely attribute to it. I've seen some people saying it's a race thing. No, that is not what's happening here. That is not. The biggest issue, in my opinion, from my limited knowledge of this subject, is because he did not hire an agent. His agent is his dad.
Didn't.
No.
And guess who is his dad? The most cocky son of a bitch in the past 25 years in the NFL.
So he lost all that money because he didn't hire an agent.
No, he just tried to rely on his dad and said, "Do what I did when I was thinking." When all you had was like the last name, you didn't have any of like the actual like major professional talent or swagger that Deion did when he was like the biggest name in football. And you're coming into that being like, just think like, oh, all my swagger, all my charisma is going to win teams over. Nothing else. He was reportedly bombing interviews left and right. He like completely bombed with the Giants, which is probably why they chose Jackson Dart. There were reports that Deion was literally threatening team scouts. So maybe a bit of this was a bunch of like teams like collaborating for like a come to Jesus moment, humble this kid. So
I mean, rightfully
again,
so, he got humbled.
Not
if you look at the Browns war room, they were just not happy when they got the pick.
Yeah, Also, that quarterback room is...
It's going to be weird.
Oh, my goodness. Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel.
Well, here's the saving grace, because at least either the Gabriel or Sanders pick can be their out from the Deshaun Watson situation, possibly.
I think he's got to go. I think he's got to go.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone.
Flacco's there for a veteran presence and also has been good for that team. I'm not gonna lie. Flacco's been a good Brown. Flacco has been the best. Flacco has low-key been the best Browns quarterback since Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not wrong. You are not wrong.
Deshaun Watson is I don't want to throw this term around loosely, but seems like a horrible human being. Get him off the team, okay? And he brought in 2 rookies, okay? One of which
going to play this year.
Dylan Gabriel looks amazing. You drafted him early, and Shedeur Sanders fell to you, and you had to pick him up. He was a really good player that, talent-wise, could have gone first, second round, but now fell to this round. So you picked him up. And then in the corner, you just have, like, the most, like, you just got Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's in the corner like, hi guys, when do I get to hike the ball?
I feel like what the roster is going to look like is that Flacco's obviously going to be the starter going into the year. You'll have either Gabriel or Pickett in the second round and Sanders in the three. Whichever one of those guys gets released is kind of in the last 3 is kind of a mixed bag. But apparently Sanders does have an out. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but the CFL Toronto Argonauts have been calling.
They drafted him. The Argonauts out of French Canada, out of Quebec, drafted Shedeur Sanders of Toronto. So if Shedeur Sanders, yes. So this happens. Tom Brady and Russell Wilson are both MLB draft picks. So if at any point Tom Brady and Russell Wilson wanted to go into the MLB, that team would have the rights to have the first option to sign that player.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So can you imagine that if like Brady became like a legend for like the Montreal Alouettes instead of the Patriots?
Yeah. Moving on to some more picks here. I
mean, the CFL.
This is where it starts to get a little like vague with guys that we know.
Yaya Black. What's the name?
Yaya Black.
DT out of Iowa.
Chris Paul Jr. State Farm. Probably not. All right, and then the 6th round. Kyle McCord did get picked up.
Dwayne Strong can do man-to-man, but I think it was like his zone coverage was iffy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember which one exactly. Like he can be good, but there was a couple stuff weird.
Yeah.
Also, a very talented physical specimen in Ollie Gordon, running back from Oklahoma State. He could do a lot of things.
I think he was like one point like the top running back going into draft season before the rise of Gene T.
Yeah, also the Oklahoma State offensive line withered last year. So he started out very well and then kind of sunk. Kyle McCord, 5th round to the Eagles. We'll see how he does there. He definitely had a much better season at Stanford, but that was again not Stanford, Syracuse, but that was going from Big Ten to ACC football. We had a place kicker, Andres Borregales, I believe.
Borregales. He is the brother of former Miami kicker Jose. I could not tell you why.
I mean, he missed one 54-yard field goal attempt in the season opener and then didn't miss again. 45. Yeah, 45 in 2024. 45. Yeah. Missed a 45, didn't miss again.
56-yarder. Okay,
pretty good resume.
Not the worst. Not the
best position rank for ESPN at the position. So, Will Howard then got picked up. Another Public Enemy #1, Ohio State to the Steelers.
So right now the Steelers quarterback room is Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, and Will Howard, and they still haven't signed Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. So then Khalil Mullings, the running back who kind of took off from Michigan, has been drafted to the Titans. Donovan Edwards also went undrafted and signed with the Jets. Riley Leonard, quarterback from Notre Dame, did go to the Colts, so he gets to stay in Indiana. That's really cool. Further down here, Miles Hinton out of Michigan, really talented offensive tackle. I think he'll fit in well. I don't know how much he'll be able to play, but he could elevate his play a little bit here and there.
Was he left tackle or right tackle?
He did flop between both because movement did happen after Michigan won the national championship, because a lot of guys moved on to the NFL or they were just done with their playing careers. So I think he went to left.
Oh, because if he's a really good right tackle, that could be when Lane Johnson retires.
Yeah, left tackle across 5 seasons in college.
If you choose to move or if you choose move a tackle inside to replace that. But I don't know why you would.
Becton, yeah. Well, I know, but the thing is, though, Lane Johnson's always going to be the right tackle.
Jimmy Horn Jr. out of Colorado, talented wide receiver that played with Shedeur for a long time. Solid slot guy.
Ooh, APR.
Yeah.
He was really good defensive.
Yeah. That's cool for you, though. A Virginia Tech player going to your favorite NFL team. You might have to get a jersey.
Right below him, Aeneas Peebles, the DT out of VT.
Yeah. Aeneas Peebles. Yeah, he was just big.
He was just big. Damn. All right.
Well, no. What I'm saying, he's not Jordan Davis, but he could run stop. That was one of his things. Was run stopping.
Cody Lindenberg.
Not much here. Again, this is the 7th round. Quinn Ewers from Texas was drafted. I thought he was staying in the NFL. I think he was offered college. Yeah, college. I think he was offered. I don't know how much money. What was the NIL deal that he was offered? Was it $8 million? I think he has to take I think he took a $7.2 million pay cut to play in the NFL, which is ridiculous.
I feel like if he stayed, though, the Longhorns are going to lose Arch Manning and the prestige of having developed the next Manning of the NFL.
Tez Johnson, Oregon.
Lightest player in the NFL draft of this year, only 154 pounds, and that's not even soaking wet.
And the other thing is, then they also signed in free agency the heaviest player in the NFL, the mammoth 465-pound. Kiddo, remind me of his name. Out of Florida, defensive tackle.
Hold on.
Look at that. Desmond Watson. Holy shit.
465. Yeah, he's huge.
He is massive.
Shoulder pads don't look right on him, meaning they look too small.
It looks like Viscera from the WWF days.
Look
at this.
And then the last pick in the draft, Kobe Minor, cornerback out of Memphis, to K-Duff's Patriots.
I was not expecting us to be the Mr. Irrelevant team, but I guess we traded up.
It was a compensatory selection from Kansas City.
We took it from KC. Interesting. And I actually do have a small list of other free agents. So obviously we had talked about the Florida DT, Desmond Watson going to the Buccaneers. Go along with them because this guy did not want to follow what his brother did. He got his own agent. Colorado safety Shiloh Sanders is also becoming a Buccaneer. Other notable names, we got the Texas A&M wide receiver Moose Muhammad III. He's going to the Panthers. He's the son of another former Panther and 1999 Walter Payton Man of the Year winner Mushin Muhammad. Northern Iowa offensive tackle Jared Penning, who is the brother of Trevor Penning on the Saints. He has gone to the Ravens. Kansas cornerback Kobe Bryant, literally named Kobe Bryant, signed to the Falcons.
Yeah.
Florida State quarterback DJ Uiagalelei has gone to the Chargers. Missouri quarterback Brady Cook to the Jets. Ole Miss defensive end Jared Ivey to the Seahawks. Iowa safety Sebastian Castro to the Steelers. Miami wide receiver Xavier Restrepo to the Titans. Clemson tight end Jake Bringingstool to the Chiefs. Notre Dame defensive tackle Howard Cross III to the Bengals. And Minnesota quarterback Max Brosmer to the Vikings, which I feel like is just another depth piece for training camp, considering their quarterback room is going to be full going into preseason shit.
Yeah. So J.J. McCarthy and who else?
J.J. McCarthy, Sam Howell. Who else?
They lost.
I think they picked up piece.
Darnold.
Yeah, they lost Darnold. I thought they picked up another quarterback. I'm looking at.
Yeah. Also, Dallas just scored on the
Brett
Avalanche.
Ripon.
They're up
Nice.
4-3. Oh, Ripon. So
Brett
it's
Ripon.
4-3 Dallas over Colorado right now.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that's a draft.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I want to see just who the Saints selected, or not the Saints. The what is it? No.
Teams?
There it is. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I'm struggling here.
Who you look at? What team you think of?
So,
Broncos.
God, that secondary is gonna be nuts.
It is going to be evil.
So
now.
right here, former basketball player, didn't play much college football, 6'7", 250. Okay, keep that in mind. Then we also have a 5'8", 205 running back, very short. Okay.
Okay. Where are you going with this?
Yeah. Who coaches this team?
Sean Payne.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payne.
Then you're
Jimmy
also
Graham and Darren Sproles.
and Michael Thomas. This motherfucker is trying to reincarnate the championship Saints. All he needs is Drew Brees. And that might be Bo Nix. This motherfucker is a wizard.
That's crazy. Because it's another thing funny, too. If you want to go back to the Raiders real quick, go back to Ashton Jeanty. You want to know who his pro comparison is?
Marshawn Lynch.
Beast Mode 2.0, anyone?
Yeah.
Matt Miller's pro. Alvin Kamara?
Wait, Alvin Kamara? What?
That's what whoever Matt Miller.
Well,
I think I can see a little bit.
I was seeing another one where Marshawn Lynch was the.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch was CBS. That was CBS who did that. All right. Anyway, let's get into the UFL section here. All right, we'll start out with the Birmingham Stallions and the Memphis Showboats.
Damn.
Wow. I have to apologize, Memphis. Yeah, you got it done. Birmingham, what the fuck? 24-20, the final score. Memphis gets the win. At Birmingham too. Not even at home. They don't even get the privilege of They don't even get the privilege of winning at home against one of the better teams in the UFL. They have to do it on the road. For Memphis, it seems like they got a better quarterback now. At least someone that's fitting in. Dresser Winn, W-I-N-N. All he does is, in the words of DJ Khaled, win, win, win. 17 for 29. Dresser Winn, D-R-E-S-S-E-R, W-I-N-N. Dresser Winn.
Piece of furniture. I'm looking.
Yeah, this guy dresses to win. He dresses to win. Easy enough. 17 for 29 for 235 and a touchdown. No interceptions, a 58.6 completion percentage, and a 96.2 rating. Well done for him. He also ran 4 times for 11 yards.
So I looked it up. Dresser Winn out of UT Martin, which is a Division 1 FCS.
Division 1.
Was a practice squad piece of the Rams and played for the Edmonton Elks of the CFL. No idea who this kid is.
They got good football in Edmonton, apparently. So, running the ball, Dedrick Prince, 12 for 60, and Jalen Jackson, 5 for 17. Receiving, D. Anderson, 4 for 93 and a touchdown. Kwame Lassiter II, 5 for 65. Isaiah Washington, 5 for 42. And Jonathan Adams, 2 for 29. Moving on to the Stallions, Case Cookus was in. He went 15 for 33 for 145, 2 touchdowns and a pick for 45% completion percentage and a 65.8 rating. He was also the lead rusher, which is not generally a good sign. 6 for 83 for a rusher. That was 83 yards as a quarterback, which is good. But again, I feel like the Birmingham Stallions had a much better team dynamic and a much more grounded team identity on offense when they were a much more traditional offense with running the ball more commonly out of more old school sets, if you will. I mean, like, look at that. Have you seen a guy in Showboat's colors ever do something like this? Senses pressure, rolls out in the pocket, pump fakes, and then on the run throws a dart in a tight window. Like, man.
Mr. Mahomes.
Missile.
All he does is win. I mean, if he doesn't lose, this man's just a winner with 2 ends. Case Cookus, again, 6 for 83 rushing. Ricky Pearson Jr., 6 for 8 for 41. CJ Marble, 8 for 24. Receiving, Deion Kane, 5 for 50. Jordan Thomas, 1 for 33 and a touchdown. CJ Marble, 4 for 21. David Davis, 2 for 21. And Jalen Camp, 1 for 10, as well as Marlon Williams, 1 for 6 and a touchdown. Very unexpected. The Showboats do not win often. They have gone through a ton of struggles, it seems like, in their UFL tenure. Excuse me. But this is a step in the right direction. Again, if there are very, very, very few teams who do not have at least a quarterback they're confident in under center that are able to win games. And Wynn went out there and really did what was needed to be done. Over 50% completion, no interceptions, threw a touchdown, 235 passing yards, 11 rushing, 96 rating. Just amazing, especially against a Stallions defense that was kind of carrying this team. Their offense for the Stallions didn't look great. But again, this was an offensive battle. This was a UFL game where the final score was 24-20. So this was kind of a shootout. Well, there's a thicker kicker, baby. Right down the middle. So hats off to Memphis. And I mean, if you got the quarterback position in check, a lot of puzzle pieces start falling into place. For Birmingham, yikes. As much as a better quarterback will help a team, like, oh my gosh, that placement. This is either this was like the game of his life, or this guy was just like slept on. Look at the ball placement.
Ooh.
I think it probably helped. I think it probably helped be like on the Rams for practice squad, like under Sean McVay, like coaching, like that, and also having experience in the CFL.
Absolutely.
I think that helps.
But yeah, at the end of the day, Birmingham, like, you're now going to be without Matt Corral. It's going to Case Cookus now for at least the next week. So, you got to right the ship here. Case Cookus didn't do horrible. Again, he's got some wheels, as we can see right there. But at the same time, throwing a pick, 15 for 33, not the best way to really come into the UFL scene here. So there's got to be some changes made. I think you need to rely more heavily on the run game if possible. You need to get some more options set up, some more play action variability, weaken up that defense a little bit, making them push up and overcommit. So I think that'd be very beneficial to have. But again, shout out to Memphis. Let's not downgrade this by any means. Tough for them to get a win for the longest time, and they do it in great fashion. Strong defensive showing and an amazing offensive performance from the first-time Memphis Showboat starter, Dresser Wynn. So, big win. Pun intended. Next up, the Michigan Panthers and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Caca. A happy caca here. 27-32, the final score in favor of the Battlehawks. We'll start with Michigan. Bryce Perkins played the majority of the game, went 21 for 25 for 235 and 2 touchdowns, 84% completion percentage and a 132.5 rating. Danny Edding, 4 for 9 for 59 yards and an interception, so immediately taken out, basically.
They were switching in and out during the whole game.
Yeah, you need to stick with Perkins. He's played so much better. Yeah. I like him a lot better. He's very dynamic, is really able to get down the field if he runs the ball, and is also very slippery. As again, we've seen, as I said, that week 1 2-point conversion where the guy broke like 11 tackles. It's not something you normally see from quarterbacks. Rushing, Toa Taua 15 for 74 and 2 touchdowns. Nate McRae 10 for 23. Bryce Perkins 4 for 14, and Jaden Sheridan 1 for 2. Receiving, Sosi Marner 6 for 111. Malik Turner 8 for 71 and a touchdown. Samson Nakua 3 for 46. Cutter Oaks 2 for 19 and a touchdown. Toa Taua 2 for 18. Yeah, and Nakua 1 suspension. Cole Hikatuni 1 for 13. Jaden Sheridan 1 for 8, and Jalen Moore 1 for 6. For the Battlehawks, the most amount of pass attempts in this game was from Max Duggan. 9 for 12 for 124 and a touchdown. 75% completion percentage and a 135.4 rating. Didn't throw any interceptions. Again, only 12 passing attempts. So there were 27 rushing attempts here. So you can see Max Duggan right there back in the pocket. Oh, boy. Oh,
come on, man. That's not a battle cog mentality, okay?
Again, this is just how it looks. He doesn't look comfortable in the pocket. He seems very nervous constantly. However, rushing was a lot better. There were 27 rushing attempts on 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. Duggan 10 for 70 and 2 touchdowns. Jacob Taylor's 12 for 49. Javen Howard 3 for 4 and Gary Jennings 1 for 3. Receiving, Hakeem Butler 2 for 124 and 2 touchdowns. Jacob Taylor's 2 for 23. Jake Sutherland 2 for 21. Blake Jackson 2 for 16.
Bad sex.
The Battlehawks managed to, much in the way I kind of recognize what LaFleur kind of did when Jordan Love went down with an ankle injury early in the season, and they had to go to the Liberty legend. Why did I just forget his name? Malik Willis. The Liberty legend Malik Willis. They changed the game plan and focused more on the run. Getting Max Duggan in the ability where to do a lot of option plays where he can get on the ground. Because again, Max Duggan is an athletic guy. As you can see here, he has wheels and he is tough. Not a lot of quarterbacks would take that hit right there willingly. This is a rough and tumble guy that puts his whole heart into the game, and he is willing to go the extra mile for what needs to be done. He ran for 2 touchdowns, threw for 1, and that was really great to set up change the game plan, play through your personnel, and not have your personnel play through your plays. Great job from them there to really change the game plan up. But also shout out to Hakeem Butler. In a game where there were 169 passing yards, 124 receiving yards were from Butler alone with 2 touchdowns. So great job from him there. Great job from the coaching staff from what seems like changing the game plan pretty heavily. Good job there. And the defense held on as much as it could and did a fairly good job there. For the Panthers, Bryce Perkins had a good game. This is a cool view. But yeah, weird also in the middle of the play. Anyway, as much as this is a league, and again, I don't want to discount guys that are trying to get in the NFL because, again, this is one of the reasons The Rock set up this league is to have guys have the ability to get their way into the NFL by showing that they can make it, showing that they're talented against peers that are at the same level. Michigan, if you want to keep winning games, I feel like it's Bryce Perkins or nothing because, as we can see here, Danny Edding is on the struggle bus. And it's not been great. Perkins has been by far a better quarterback option. Yeah. I would say even at this point, it's midway through the season, damn near a top 5 candidate for the MVP.
It's him and Tamu.
Yeah.
There's people saying
it's him and Tom. And hey, I'm just saying, if Wynn keep playing like this, holy shit. All right. But yeah. I would say just stick with Perkins. I think that's the biggest issue here. Again, you have to have a quarterback to. Oh my god! I think I need new underwear. Holy crap! Was that a triple O-line pull on a quarterback sweep? What year?
Rewind that.
Yeah. Hold on. Why did it just lose that?
Did you close it?
No, YouTube, no. Oh my god! You pulled. Did they pull the center?
Did they?
I think they did. Let's see that again.
They pulled the center and the left tackle.
What?
They pulled the center and the left tackle, and it looks like they have a slot receiver, number 1 there, going out. That is Ja'Cour Pearson. And then they have number 84, Jake Sutherland, a tight end, blocking down on the defensive tackle, or defensive end here. So they're sealing here, hat on a hat. He's going to the second level, and they're letting this backside guy come free because we're running the other way. We're running away from him. You get a great edge block here, it looks like by number 2. Frank Darby. Great set there. You have a center who's a little lagging behind, but fine. Number 75 left tackle here outside. Matched up perfectly. You get a block here and a decent enough block here. You get a good push down here. And then you're able to push him almost out of the picture. And then it's 1 tackle to break. Oh my gosh.
That's ballsy. Pulling the center to the left.
But again, you are having your players make plays. You are playing through your players, not having your players play through plays. This is just, oh man. Again, Max Duggan is a very athletic and talented guy. Now that he isn't a good quarterback, this guy still can be a good quarterback. He does struggle at times. But again, his athleticism is his biggest strength. Play through that. And they did, and it got them the win. Amazing job by the coaching staff of the St. Louis Battlehawks.
That's a Phil McGogan there. That was his brainchild.
Yeah. Yeah, keep McGogan with this plan because it's working.
This game.
I'm here all week.
It had me going for a minute, not going to lie.
Yeah. I'm pretty close, but again, I wouldn't worry about getting in a close game with Arlington. They're a lot better than I think they used to be. Ooh. 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 Again, if you ain't watching UFL football, get on the hype train because look at this absolute snag right here.
Right.
One hand pulls it in.
They need more people in the crowd, man.
Well, usually when they sell seats and they're not selling out the whole stadium, they'll sell out instead of the long sides, they'll sell out the short sides. Because again, you're way further away. Because imagine if you're behind the goalpost and someone's at the other end of the field, you can't see. You like to be on the 50s or the lateral sides.
Yep.
But yeah, this snag right here from Luis Perez to number 21, Deontay Burrett, for his first and only touchdown of the game. That was sexy. 37-33, the final score. Defenders get the win in Arlington. We'll go with them first for stats. Jordan Ta'amu, 23 for 46 for 308 yards and a touchdown with one pick for a 50% completion percentage and an 84.3 rating. An amazing day for him. This was definitely a shootout game. He was the lead rusher, 8 for 37 and a touchdown, while Deion Jackson, 6 for 32 and a touchdown. Receiving, Corden Powell, 4 for 89 and a touchdown. Brandon Sanders, 3 for 81. Chris Rowland, 7 for 61. Javon Antonio, 4 for 33. Jaden Mickens, 3 for 33. And Braley Moore McKinney, 1 for 6. For the Arlington Renegades, Luis Perez, 23 for 33 for 268, a touchdown and an interception, 69.7% completion percentage, and a 91.5 rating. This was an old school high noon shootout between two very talented quarterbacks in this league. Perez and Tomo both had 6 shooters strapped to their waist, and they were letting it fly. Rushing for Arlington, Kalen Ballage, 10 for 79, a touchdown. Dede Hunter, 6 for 16, and Luis Perez, 1 for 10, as well as Devon Smith, 1 for 2 and a touchdown. Receiving, Deontay Burrett, 3 for 78 and a touchdown. Isaiah Weinstead, 3 for 67. Tyler Vaughn's 5 for 56. Javonte Payton, 1 for 26. Saul Canella, 6 for 23. And Seth Green, 2 for 22. Again, like I said, this was a shootout. Both defenses were not up to snuff with the offenses of the other team. Luis Perez and Jordan Ta'amu both passed for over 260 yards. Both for at least one touchdown. Ta'amu had 3. So this was a quarterback showcase, a shootout of all states, Texas. And the man, the myth, the legend, Defenders quarterback Jordan Ta'amu came away with the victory, even if he's throwing a pick on this highlight.
I blame that on the receiver. That
was definitely that should have been the receiver's interception problem. That's where you're going back to the sideline and your quarterback coach is chewing out the receiver for that. It's tough for Arlington because again in the losses you're supposed to analyze what went wrong. Obviously defense is the main issue here, but Luis Perez played very well. 23 for 33 for 268, a touchdown and a pick. Not bad, very good, very solid. Ran the offense very well. Great run there by Kalen Ballage for his touchdown of the game. But you really wish this could have come on a victory. But again, Ta'amu was too hot. 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 pick for 23 for 46, 50% completion. Great day for him. Just a great day for Ta'amu. Keeps getting better every single season and almost now every single game, it seems like. Any thoughts with this one, K-Duff?
You said it perfectly, man. Just good game, good comeback. You love it.
Oh my god, what
Arlington. You could kind of blame Arlington's defense or a little bit of coaching because they had it was the largest comeback in UFL history. So it's like they choked it kind of near the end.
Yeah. Arlington's defense definitely has not been the greatest. Their offense has been their strong suit, so they definitely need to improve. But at the same time, it's Jordan Ta'amu you're playing against. I would say, I would feel kind of confident saying that's the most talented quarterback in the UFL right now. Also, why is this cutaway so dark?
I don't know.
What is wrong with the camera? Did they forget to take like the lens off the front for like when it rains? But yeah,
the brightness.
yeah. again, this was if you want, go watch the highlights of this game. So there were some both these quarterbacks are very talented, and I think could both do something in the NFL. Obviously, as starters, not yet, but at the same time, their talent is not to be underestimated. Both very, very, very talented quarterbacks that are doing great jobs for their teams. Oh my goodness, a triple back. Oh, where's Gorlami? Oh my goodness. But yeah, great game. Good, another shootout of all places in Texas. So great job there. Great game. Defenders get the win on the road. The worst game of the week, sadly, was my Brahmas. We got taken out back. And if you have eaten hamburger in the last 3 days, it probably was the San Antonio Brahmas, because by golly, we got torched. This was at home for the unveiling of our what is it? Mascot. Thank you. There it is. Oh, just lost that there. And we got torched. 27-3 the final score. Roughnecks got the win. Big time. Jalen McClendon, 22 for 32 for 171 with one interception, no touchdowns, 68% completion percentage, a 68.6 rating. Rushing, Zandre White, 11 for 40 and a touchdown. Kirk Merritt, 6 for 42 and a touchdown. Jalen McClendon, 8 for 17, and Lorenzo Ligard, 6 for 13. Roughnecks receiving, 9 for 68. Josh Pedersen, 3 for 27. Kiki Chisholm, 3 for 18. TJ Vanisher, 1 for 14. Emmanuel Butler, 1 for 10. Lawrence Keys, 1 for 8. And Kirk Merritt, 1 for 8. As well as Marcus Sims, 1 for 7. For the Brahmas, Kellen Mond and Jarrett Jarrett Guarantano both played quarterback. Mond, 4 for 9 for 35, no touchdowns and a pick. And then Guantanamo, 6 for 15 for 29 and 1 interception for a 20.1 rating. I had never seen two quarterbacks both play, and both were so abysmal that they both got under a 21 quarterback rating. We couldn't run the ball either. Anthony McFarland, 6 for 40. Guantanamo, 3 for 24. Robin, 3 for 12. Corbin, 2 for 1. Our leading receiver had 1 reception for 24 yards. Jonte Kirkland, 4 for 21. Joshua Corbin, 3 for 14. This was a horrible performance. We couldn't get anything going offensively. Our offensive line was a sieve. We had better chance with our O-line holding water in a bucket full of holes. This was bad. This was really bad. At home, getting absolute flat-out embarrassed, beaten off the ball, getting punched in the mouth, not responding. Quarterback play was John Kitten on crack. It was bad. It was really bad. And then the Roughnecks were efficient where they needed to be. They did nothing jumps off the page, but nothing also jumps off the page is horrible. So they did what they needed to do, showed up, got the win, didn't fuck around, and got it done. It's just hard to see the Brahmas team go from last year, where it was a style of football I like to watch, where they were running the ball very heavily, getting some good passing going. Gerber's struggled, but did better as the time went on. And we're still trying to get that running going, but it's just not working as well because our O-line seems to have taken a step back, I guess. But not much else I can say, but a good old-fashioned slobber knocker from the Roughnecks towards the Brahmas. 27-3 says it all. Yeah. Can't even punch it in the red zone either. Jeez! All right, turn it off. Man.
Yep. Turn his TV off. Turn his
TV off. All right, we're going to go ahead and get to our predictions for Week 6 of UFL action. So we'll start with that. We'll show you the scores from the last few weeks. For Week 5 now concluded, we're going into Week 6. The scores are from top to bottom. KDUF still in the lead at 22-4. Only 4 incorrect predictions thus far. The UFL master here. Then next up, me and Mamba are tied at 16-7. Then Macedon at 16-9, and Garlami is sitting in last at 13-9. We will start out with the Renegades and Battlehawks. Sorry, I had to pull something up here. All right, Renegades and Battlehawks. This is in St. Louis. This is going to be on Friday at 8 p.m. It's a tough one. But I kind of like I like the Battlehawks and their coaching staff changing the style of play. And I don't know if the Renegades defense is going to be as successful. Because they really weren't against the DC Defenders, even though I don't think the Battlehawks defense is going to hold a candle. This could be another shootout. However, I'm going to take the Battlehawks in this one by 5.
Give me my Cox by 7. I gotta love them Cox.
Arlington by 4.
I'm actually gonna flip a coin here. Let's see.
Oh God.
Flip a coin. Let's use the phone.
Tails. I'm picking the Battlehawks by 5.
All right. Next up, Showboats and Roughnecks. Showboats are hopping on the win train. I'm taking them by 10. I got a feeling. I don't know. This is crazy.
What's their record?
Old strategy, Cotton.
1-4.
And 4.
1-4 because it's going to week 6. So 5 games played. Come on, big wins. Big wins.
Roughnecks by 7.
Memphis by 4.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm
Houston.
still not trusting it. Roughnecks by 3.
Yeah, no, I heard you. I heard you.
Yeah. He was
thought you
confused
actually
about
made
his
it
pick.
that.
He was like, Then, also that game is going to be on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have 2 games, one at 12 and one at 4. First one at 12, DC and Michigan from Detroit. Tom was too hot. Tamu is too hot, and he's going to be making him some Panther pelt. I'll take the Defenders by 6.
Right choice.
Give me them Panthers by 7. Let's spice it up a little.
If they don't put Danny Etling in, they have a chance. Like,
Yeah.
Really.
DC by 4.
Yeah, give me the Defenders by 7.
All right, next up, Brahmas and Stallions from Birmingham. Italians, Battalions, or Scallions. Brahmas by 5. Mamba.
Sorry. I'm thinking let's go Brahmas by 7.
Birmingham by 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the confidence you have in the Brahmas into account and say Stallions by 15.
Oh, wow. All right. All right, then.
That whiplash. Woo.
Now for everyone's favorite part of the night, where Macedon gets to rate something he's probably never experienced. Tier list. What is it this time? What could it be?
Oh my God.
Just straight up hats, man. Where are we ranking these hats? I don't know why. Yeah, what do you think about this cobbler pilgrim hat looking thing?
B.
Okay, B solid.
Delta. No, D for Delta.
Delta. Okay. Is this is this a bowler hat? Yeah, bowler hat.
Bowler hat. Like Clockwork Orange hat.
D
D.
Clockwork Orange.
C for Charlie.
Man. Okay. Viking helmet, the Hollywood type.
C, yeah, put F because Hollywood type, because they basically had the same the actual
Rastafarian hat. you just gotta rank it. Rank it on a hat, man. It's a hat. Rank the hat. Rank the hat, white man. Rank it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is a fedora?
Milady.
I don't like. Well,
Saquon.
Okay. Thing is, though, I think that I'm thinking of like Tom Landry. I'm thinking of the Packers.
Again, there are people that wear fedoras and they wear it right, and then you have like Redditors.
It's like I don't know if that's actually a fedora, like, because what the Redditors like, what they say fedoras is not actually a fedora. Like, it's
more like a trilby than a fedora.
Yeah, so S tier just because you just gotta go with the classic like
Milady
coaches.
A fez.
I see these a lot because there's like a Shriners Temple near me.
I'm just thinking of some shows and also Awesome Powers. B.
Yeah. B. I'll never say, where's Dr. Evil hiding? Where's Dr. Evil? Where's Dr. Evil hiding? Then we have a turban.
Or just a
S tier.
S tier, S tier. All right, S tier. Let's go. Bucket hat.
This is my tier list.
Hey, Mama said S tier. Mama said S tier. Are you gonna argue with that? Are you gonna argue with that? All right. Bucket hat.
I love me a bucket hat.
A. All right. How is this different from the? This is a Ushanka. What is this? Is this an American Ushanka? Ushanka with brim.
Like a toboggan. Hold on. I thought that's like a toboggan.
A brimmy shotgun.
Like the sled?
Well, I thought. Hold on.
Also, can we just say coonskin cap S?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. The toboggan hat is the beanie.
Can we also say Peppa Pig hats S tier as well?
That's not Peppa Pig. That's just a hat for a birthday party. It's not Peppa Pig. Oh my
Peppa Pig.
All right, we're also going to say
the fisherman hat. The fisherman hat that's to the left.
Oh yeah,
that S tier.
Okay,
I'm sorry, those are really good.
Okay, Ushanka without the brim. Bliat.
I think I traded for one of those in TF2 for like 2 or find.
Okay, you also
yeah.
could you add a F tier?
B.
You said B?
Could you add a
Yeah.
Could you add an F tier real quick? I have a very good reason why.
Okay.
All right, get that Yankees cap over in F tier, man. Get that shit out of
here. Oh yeah.
Fuck the Yankees.
Yankees. I don't care about baseball, but fuck them. I don't think this is for the Yankees. I think this is just baseball caps in general, and these are flat brims. But it's the Yankees. All right, and then Ushanka with brim. Is a brim better or is a brim worse, Western man?
I say brim is better.
B. Okay, it's the same. And then we have the I smoke cigarettes and drink a Coke for breakfast. Okay.
Fucking Fred. Fuck the
mushroom hat?
You want to
Toad from
Super Mario?
Yeah.
Oh, why? Put in D just for funny.
Yeah. Santa, where the ho ho ho's at?
C, just because
C
actually get
for claws.
Bro, we called Santa C tier. That's
a
wild.
pilot hat.
Are we talking about an actual pilot or like a sexy pilot?
What the fuck, Mamba? What the? Shut the fuck up! God.
There's a difference.
Damn it.
Maybe in your search history.
Just because, hold on. For core cadets of like college, those things are so annoying to wear at times. C.
All right.
Like,
so what you said is a toboggan, but most people call it beanie.
It's a beanie, so F just because.
What?
Coloradans, all the Coloradans.
See, if it was an actual toboggan, I'll put A. But
the ones with the floofs kind of are cool. But anyway, a top hat. C. Okay. Army helm.
That's a Mark 1.
I think this is just in general. This isn't just in general an army helmet.
I know. Put an S tier just because.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then we have this monstrosity.
B.
Okay. And then a construction hat.
S for safety.
Here, let's go. And then I think this is a bowler. No, this is a beret. I think maybe. I don't know. Beret with brim. Where does this go?
If it was no brim, I'll put it A tier. But with the brim, D tier.
Wow. All right.
S for sombrero.
If it's a beret without a brim, I said it would have been A tier.
Not a beret.
It has the brim.
Not a beret.
It's a bowler hat? No.
Someone said beret.
Newsboy hat. Okay.
Sombrero C. I don't care. Whatever.
Oh, it's a classic hat. 10-gallon.
Cowboy.
I'd say B because it's kind of similar to the fisherman hat of like protecting around the first sun.
Yeah. Football helmet.
S.
Got to.
About it, so.
Got to.
Yeah,
Put over here. Then we have
It's like the Lou Bega hat.
I think that's the fedora.
It's like the Godfather hat.
I
It's
feel
like
like
Al Capone's hat.
you put that
So-
on. I feel like I'm gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5.
So if that, I'm gonna call that the Reddit fedora. Put that in F for the Reddit fedora.
Okay.
All right, and then flat brims.
F.
Flat brim.
F.
What?
I hate flat brims.
They're kind of douchey. Not gonna lie.
It is,
Party
and
hats.
also that's not baseball.
Yo,
it's
Peppa
flat
Pig,
brim.
S tier, Peppa Pig hat.
No, it's just a
F,
birthday
just
party.
because
Yeah.
Yeah,
F.
it's Peppa Pig.
Birthday
Because
party
you go
hat,
to a
F.
birthday party when you're a kid, and those kids take those straps and they go twang, and you got this red line in your neck for days.
No,
All right.
just because my mom
gay
my
sailor.
mom remembers for like waitressing for like show days, like they do happy birthday, happy birthday to you, and like was it the people at the
We're still at the show.
one at the restaurant, yeah, or one of the restaurant owners say, "You gonna do that?" And my mom's like, "Fuck no," and he's like, "You're not." No, you're not gonna make me do
the
that.
birthday songs at restaurants.
All right. The YMCA hat.
I mean, that's a
Ahoy,
sailor
sailor.
hat.
Yeah.
The gay
Yes.
sailor.
Village
wonder-
people.
I think that's supposed. I don't know if that's whatever. B. I think if I remember right, that's supposed to be kind of like a older Coast Guard.
And
He's talking
then
with Navy, who's still in the
a
Navy.
crown.
Oh. F, just because.
What? They got jewels on it and shit.
Yes.
All right.
Also because I think it's for B for the sailor hat also because of Popeye the show. He was
Oh, yeah.
Coast
Shout out
Guard,
Popeye.
not Navy. He's not Navy. He was Coast Guard back in
Popeye was Coast
like the
Guard?
30s. Yes, back in the 30s and 40s, the Coast Guard uniform was the white uniform. They changed colors some couple decades after that.
Popeye the Sailor originally portrayed as a Coast Guardsman before becoming a sailor, so he was
Oh,
both.
Wow.
Interesting.
Shout out Coast Guard.
sorry, that's one thing. My dad's my dad was Coast Guard enlisted, and some people are like Popeye was Navy. It's like no. That's motherfucking Coast Guard. You shut your fucking mouth.
The one thing the Coast Guard get, don't take it away from them, is Popeye. At least for 3 seasons.
And also, was it? I'm trying to think what other stuff with Coast Guard. Oh, also, Coast Guard actually helped transport troops for D-Day. That wasn't really Navy.
Yeah.
And there is one Coast Guardsman that did get a Medal of Honor posthumously during D-Day.
Is he the only Coast Guard to ever get one?
I think so.
Yeah. Probably because it's not in a role that generally sees much combat. I got a buddy that's in the Coast Guard.
It's
up
they're
in
they're
the Great
mostly-
Lakes. But yeah, anyway. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like the episode. Leave us a comment if you want us to answer any questions. Come back next week on Friday and we'll break down all the stuff that happened. It'll just be UFL stuff until the NFL starts to roll up again. We're slowly getting into starting the ramping up that we're going to be doing more and more stuff about the training camps and stuff like that. This is kind of the point in the season where the NFL news, you start to get some of the crazy, like onion stories from the NFL just because people want the NFL, but there's nothing. The draft's over. It's just this weird time. But we have the UFL now. So thank God in heaven for that. It's been an amazing thing for us. And there's some great quarterbacks that are playing in the league. Some great
Stanley
games.
Cup playoffs. Stanley
Yeah,
Cup playoffs.
other sports as well.
Stars and Avalanche are going crazy. Avalanche leading 5-4 in the game right now. 10
Game 7.
Game 7.
Game 7 will be in Dallas though, so I do like that at the very least.
Yes.
But hopefully we can end it in 6. But yeah, enjoy some of the playoffs for the NBA and NHL. Enjoy the football coming up for you from the UFL. It's been great football. It seems to only be getting better every week, except for the Brahmas. Get it together, guys. And most importantly, run the damn ball. Have a good night. Bless you.
Thank you.